Locked on Target.
Hi crew, and welcome to Gamerlife Level 21 from me, Captain Chris. And today we are going to be talking about the topic: how do what do you think about leaks? Are leaks important to you? And we're not talking about the vegetable. We're talking about the leaks in video games, of course. So special shout out to my friend Alice, who came up with this topic and actually hosted Gamerlife over on my friend Alloy7's channel, and you'll find a link to that in the description. But Alice actually made the main video for this week, and BC was kind enough to put it on his channel. And thank you for that, BC, promoting our smaller channels on your somewhat larger channel. Hopefully we'll catch up to you one day, bro, but, probably not. But maybe. I'm still hopeful, but, the quality content you produce is staggering. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of the story. This could very well just be your story, but Gamerlife is our story, and that goes for you too, viewer. So if you want to join in the discussion, please make a response vid, or comment here, comment over on Alloy7's original video, and join the discussion. We're friends here. We even if you have a differing opinion, we're not going to yell at you. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to talk to you. And my intent was to kind of log in to Lion's Arch, go somewhere else to do world completion, but I'm thinking Guild Wars is having a little bit of trouble getting into Lion's Arch, because it's taking forever to load. So, oh, I opened Task Manager, and now I'm loaded in the Lion's Arch. Okay, so let's see what we want to play during the streams. Oh, did yes, a plateau. Oh, let's do Frost Gorge. I haven't been there in a while on my characters, so let's go ahead and do this. So I've done map completion on my warrior, and you can pick zones and to go around. This is a level 80 zone, and I'm looking forward to just doing going around and just exploring the level 80 zone. And this is a beautiful zone here in general. Aggro to Minotaur. So you get to see a little bit of Elementalist gameplay. You switch between the four attunements to do different things. A lot of it with the staff has to do with AoE skills, which you need to generally lead the target, and it's a bit different than your typical play style in MMOs. You really got to lead targets because everything is the ground target for Ellie, besides the #1 attack, which is pretty darn weak in comparison. So for the actual Gamerlife topic in general, yes, I know, I will get back to actually talking about what I'm supposed to be talking about. Leaks, like how BioWare recently had a leak, don't really bother me. Okay, because it's kind of like a so what type of thing. Oh man, a guy that works on BioWare games is making a game for BioWare, or works at cinematics at BioWare, is working on a cinematic at BioWare. That doesn't mean that there's a leak. Now, a Snapchatted screenshot of Gears of War Remastered is a bigger leak, but again, so what? Like, the Xbox One needs a big IP to kind of bail it out, especially since The Ringer, which is, Halo Anniversary Edition, turned out to be only bad press for the Xbox One. And that was going to be like the start of the dynasty that could have been Xbox One. So they really need to come out with they really need to do something in a big way. You know what I mean? And the leak that you know, I don't know if that was an intentional leak. I think it was, because they're like, oh, well, you know, we're gonna punish those guys who leaked the Gears of War remastered footage. Oh my gosh, those jerks. We're just gonna ban their Xbox Live account. Slap on the hand. No lawsuit, no nothing. You know, when you do these types of things, you're in a strict agreement to not talk about it. So when you're like, oh, well, you know, you just get your Xbox Live account banned for leaking this footage, you know, that only went around the company. Like, no one got fired. No one, you know what I mean? That's kind of a... I don't think that, you know, I think this was an intentional leak. You know what I mean? And this is Microsoft is like, we'll get you a new Xbox Live account and transfer your achievements and everything, but we have to look like we're punishing you. Here, please, leak this footage. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I kind of felt like this felt like. Because no one lost their job over it. No one, you know, and this is a big announcement. Like, this is Microsoft's E3 announcement. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the same way with Fallout 4, like what Alice is saying. But in my eyes, it's a little bit different than that, because it's how to quantify it. With Fallout 4, a guy that does cinematics is working on a cinematic. You know what I mean? He just updated his LinkedIn profile. So what? You know, people do that all the time. I'm working on an undisclosed video game for X company, and everyone freaks out. But then that, you know, I will give you a cautionary tale of a game I was very hyped for. That, you know, a few people I know, probably Tommy, probably, you know, I'm gonna say probably Cheese Slice maybe was excited for this. I don't know for sure, but there was a game that we all were looking forward to in the gaming community. It was called Mega Man Legends 3, and it got leaked, and everyone was excited for it, and it was a good time. But you know what happened to that game? It got canceled because there wasn't enough interest for it, because no one wanted to pay $3 or something for a 10-minute long demo. Thank you, Capcom. You know, for, you know, saying that no one has interest in possibly one of the things that you could have, like, brought back Mega Man, you know, the thing that is your mascot for your company. So don't get too excited about leaks, because you will get burned. I got burned, you know, I've gotten burned several times, because half the time when they leak footage and leak features, like, the leaked things don't actually make it into the game. I'll give you an example from Guild Wars 2. There was a leaked data mine things that had the playable races, right? And Tengu was one of the races. And, you know what? Let me just warp. For the sake of this, I'm just going to go see a Tengu. So I can show you on camera what a Tengu looks like. But a Tengu is like, they're very involved in the Guild Wars lore, particularly in Guild Wars factions. And there's even a henchman that followed you around in Guild Wars 1 in Eye of the North and in factions that was Tengu specifically. Are they gonna have someone at the gate? No, they're not gonna have someone at the gate. But basically, this whole area, this area right here, is blocked off from every side, because I know there's a Tengu in Fireheart Rise, but I don't have the waypoint there. This whole area is Honor of the Wave, or not Honor of the Waves, but the Tengu city that they don't want to let humans into. So they're pretty darn big in the lore here, and I think we're gonna have something to do right here. And of course, this isn't 100% map completion. So we're not going to see that, but let's just go into Kessex Hills, and I'll walk to see a Tengu, so I can show you what I'm talking about. But Tengus were playable, you know, and and as a playable race, and I was super excited because I wanted to make a Tengu, and they were on like the list of races that I wanted to, and we knew about Norn, we knew about Asura, we knew about a lot of the other races in the game because directly when they released Eye of the North, they're like, these are going to be the playable races in Guild Wars 2, and they're like, here's your introduction to Asura and Norn. All right. And there was even rumors that we would get to play dwarves and a few other things, which I was like, how are they going to play dwarves? Because if you know anything about the lore, the dwarves are kind of not existent in this world anymore. I mean, they're down below. They're in the depths of the world, fighting for us, fighting the destroyer Primordius. And either they've gotten lost down south, or they just have left. They've gone insane, or because they underwent a rite that turned their bodies to stone, so they are literally a stone being. So here's a Tengu. They generally have bird names. And they have kind of an Asian slash, a kind of a mix of Asian and Greek centaur type of feel to them. So it's particularly in factions. They have like the Greek tales of the War of the Centaurs and the Titans type thing, or War of the Centaurs and the Greeks. That's kind of like the lore they set them up with. And I was just excited to play as this race because their lore, their art, everything about them is kind of more magical than, is kind of on par with the Sylvari, which is what I'm playing right now, which are these plant-growing people that have emerged from Guild Wars 1. They're a tree, a mysterious seed, got planted in Maguma's forest, and Ventari, a centaur that was friendly to humans, cared for it, that played a major role in Guild Wars 1 prophecies, and kind of nurtured this seed, and it became sentient. Well, its children are called the Sylvari. And, that kind of thing is pretty darn cool. As a race perspective, and they could have done something crazy with making playable Tengu. I mean, I love the design here. They didn't have to rework a lot of the armor from, say, Char, and that's what people were on about, was you see how he had kind of the hunched body position? Well, look at the Char model, right? You could rework a lot of these armors to be work with the Tengu. So I don't understand why we didn't get playable race of a Tengu, and that was leaked information, okay? So it hurt me as a player to know that there was leaked information that this game could have done X, Y, and Z, but it didn't. And I still want playable Tengu because that stupid leak. Well, I wanted the playable Tengu anyways, but in my eyes, that was a thing, that I was going to get in Guild Wars 2, so it gave me a false expectation for when the real product came out. I wasn't so happy. But, everyone's like, oh, they'll have to do a lot of work. Well, look, okay, you already have Asuras, which are just basically downscaled human. I'll go to my human. My one human. This is a human or guardian here. And I don't like this armor. I just haven't had the time to really edit it or dye it or, do whatever. But it looks okay. But you see how the scale of the items are. Well, you go like Sylvari, it's the same scale. So, it's basically the same armor, just downscaled. The only thing that changes are Norn. Norn have pretty unique armors for what they are, and Norn are just basically large humans, but how they adorn themselves changes, so there's actually physical model changes on the armor between Norn human. And Char is the most unique because it actually, like, their headpieces change as well for each armor set. So there still is a great deal of customization, but I'm saying you could take this. You already have to use the tail, so you know what I mean. Like, you can convert this armor mesh into fit the Tengu body fairly easily if you're doing things like taking the Norn and making new armor, adornments over the other races. So that's just my own personal thing. So to me, it's like leaks can be good because they get hype for the game, but for me, I'm not a big hype person. So it just gives me expectations about the game that that I just don't think is relevant. I don't think is going to be super useful in the future. And if anything, what the leak does is all it is marketing. All right, it can only be a positive for a company. Yes, it might not be as positive as if Fallout 4 is, revealed at the press conference. But think of how many people that you saw in the comments section that were like, wait, Bethesda's doing an hour-long conference at E3, and this has been like out in the gaming news for months. But there's like, whoa, Bethesda's doing a conference at E3? People didn't know that, and now they know that. So that's information gain. You've put your product in front of people. It's only a plus for the company. And by the way, I love the idle animations for the Char. Like, these, click on me, darn it. I'm going to wag my tail until I get clicked on, and we play the game. And if they're just standing around, they just start wagging their tail impatiently. It's kind of a nice touch in my eyes. By the way, I think I'm going to make a Char Revenant. Because that's going to be super interesting lore-wise. And I want a female Char. Because I have a female Savari, I have a male Savari, I have a male human, and I have a female human, and a male human. I don't have a male Asura, but I just don't think the Revenant class would fit the Asura anyways. Now, the Norn Asura or Revenant might be something, but I just don't see them going like the forces of mystics and whatnot. That's more of a human Char slash, I would even say Sylvari to an extent, because they like to experiment, they like to learn, because they're the newest race on Tyria, so they're always exploring. Now, I would say that leaks are good for the gaming industry as a whole. I do not think they're good for the consumer because, again, it's only a net negative for us because we get hyped for a game. We need to wait for it for 10 years. Or if not, I mean, look at when Duke Nukem Forever was leaked, right? Way back 10 years ago. How many times has Half-Life 3 been leaked? Supposedly Left 4 Dead 3 was leaked. And I said, yeah, right, because, well, whatever. And I heard that 7 months ago, that Left 4 Dead 3 was leaked. I don't think, I wouldn't put it past Valve to have Half-Life 3 or Left 4 Dead 3 come out before Half-Life 3, because Left 4 Dead series makes money and it's easy to make. They have the basic engine for it, you know what I mean? And how can you show off Source 2? You know what I mean? Their new engine that's coming out. Put a lot of enemies on screen, i.e. Left 4 Dead 2, and have a lot of physics-based elements in there, i.e. melee weapons in Left 4 Dead 3. You know what I mean? I just think that the stars align for Left 4 Dead 3, but when they're like, yeah, someone was touring the Valve office and they saw someone having a Left 4 Dead 3 icon on their computer, Left 4 Dead 3 confirmed, I don't care. You know, it'll come out when it comes out. So there's no official news from the company. You know, I'm not. Leaks that matter to me would be like Earthbound 3, which only has a fan translation, gets official virtual console support from Nintendo. That would be a huge leak for me. All right, or a discontinued game series, like, oh gosh, what's a discontinued game series that I would love to be revived? You know what? That's gonna be my next Gamerlife topic. Is what game series do you want to be revived? Because we're seeing a lot of Nintendo, or a lot of different series being revived through Kickstarter, whether it be Ukulele or the Castlevania proper games. I forget what it's called. It's like Castle something, or Tears of something, or oh gosh, I'll look it up. Whatever. But basically, the creator of Castlevania is now doing a Castlevania game on Kickstarter now too. But I'm just forgetting the name for that one right now. Sorry about that. But that's what I'm excited for. I'll make that video and submit that to be. If it's good, it'll be up on next week's topic. He picks it. Someone else might have submitted a better topic or a better formatted video, or, letting a newer member of the community kind of had the voice. And that probably will be a Gamerlife in the future. Not saying it will be guaranteed to go up this Sunday, but, it has a possibility of being the topic. At least I'm going to submit a video to see if that is a good topic and see what he likes. So thanks for watching, and until we meet again, stay on target.